Hello and welcome to another episode of the Grunge Bible Podcast. My name is Ethan Shalloway. I'm here with Chris Salona as usual. We're really jacked up to be here today. Ain't that right, Chris?
I'm feeling jacked up and excited and fired up and up
so
in a
jacked
tizzy.
up.
I'm
drinking Coke Zero.
Yeah, you've got the Coke Zero. I can't beat that. I really wish I had one. Every so
you gotta
often,
go for a soda later.
You gotta go for a soda every now and then. And I have soda envy right now. Like I saw it, and like you know when there's like the can is ice cold, you can see the outer layer of condensation on it. Like I saw that from the Zoom screen, and I'm pretty jealous. But I'm happier for you than I am jealous of you, because I know it's needed today.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was one of those things. I came back busy. Just when you get home, it's like you gotta see people. There's a lot going on in the personal life. Yeah, because you're back home now. Because we did an episode in Lexington last week, and now you're back in PA. And so I worked, and we're fitting in this podcast right before we had plans tonight. Got to go train. You got softball, all this stuff. And so I was eating fast. And when you eat fast, you know, like you need something to wash it down. And I was like, I need some carbonation. I went downstairs. Well, I knew my dad's a Coca-Cola guy. So I was like, I know we got Coke.
Right.
And he's a Coca-Cola, Mike's Hard Lemonade. And then we have like, seltzers around. So I really, I went
the
down.
Holy Trinity. Yeah.
I grabbed a seltzer. But see, you got carbonation, caffeine, and alcohol, right? So those are the staples, and hydration. You always have your water. But I went down there and I saw the Coke, and I was like, you know what, that'll hit. But I'm one of those guys, like, you know what's perfect for me? Those 8-ounce cans, the small cans.
The little crushers, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge. That's like the perfect amount. All I need is like 2 or 3 sips. Like that's the thing. When I get 12 ounces of soda, like, I'm just not gonna get to the end of it before it like loses its coldness or its carbonation.
Well,
so
then they have the bigger ones
great.
too. You go to the gas station, you see like the big cans. They're like 22 ounces or something.
They got those sodas now.
Yeah, I don't know what universe. Like like it's like
they got the 2x4s and the pounders of.
It's like the concert venue beer can that's like bigger than a tall boy. Like they have those of sodies now, which is crazy. Because I just buy the bottle. Then it's 20 ounces, I think, and rather have a bottle than a can.
What's your favorite way to take in soda?
Oh man,
can, fountain, or bottle.
Sometimes like
or glass.
A can in the summertime, like outside, like at a cookout or something. If you're not drinking beer, is pretty good. But I'm fan.
21, I don't know when that would happen.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like sometimes, like you fill up the gas tank in the afternoon, and you go in. I do like buying like one of the bottles, and you get strapped in there, and it's a good road trip companion. I'm always starting off with the 0-calorie sody boy on a road trip. So
0-cal guy.
Yeah, usually I just like, I don't know. I've drank them for so long that sometimes like the regular, like the sugar is just a little overwhelming for me. That I just fucking hammer in the artificial sweeteners that'll probably kill me. But then again, a lot of things are going to kill me. So it's okay.
That's right. You're just losing the last couple of years of your life anyway. So
I don't need them anyway. Like,
there's an argument for someone that was quitting smoking. The guy was like, everybody keeps telling me I'm going to lose the last 10 years of my life. It's like, I don't need those.
I don't need them.
I don't need those. But then he's like, it's affecting my taste and some daily stuff. So all right, I'll quit. But not because it's going to kill me.
Not for my long-term health, but for my short-term convenience.
Yeah. I used to be a big can guy. I still am, because I think that's the best way to hold carbonation.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, resealable containers are great. They serve a purpose, but still, like, you open a 2-liter, you got like a 20-minute window before that sucker's
never
flat.
You'll never see me with a 2-liter. Never.
Yeah, like I said, the 2-liter that comes with like a couple pizza pies.
Oh yeah, the pizza shop always has that deal.
Oh yeah, they just throw it in there.
They throw them in there because they know nobody wants one,
and they got to get rid of them.
Exactly.
So like here's your 2-liter. I mean, it's cool. Like it's good for the first cup, but man, the problem is then you have 2 liters of soda. But the fountain drink, man, I tell you what, I think that something about the fountain drink I've really come around to. Like it's just the carbonation is always a little bit better. It's as fresh as you can get because it's like mixed right there. So yeah, I've been into the fountain sodas if I got to do it.
Well, that's a good move. Like you go to like a diner style restaurant, and it's kind of a power move to order like a glass of soda with your lunch.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Well, generally, if you go to gas stations, dude, you get a fountain soda. It's probably like $1.50. Where if you buy a bottle, it's like $3.
It's objectively cheaper to buy like from the fountain, and a lot of times like the 2-liter bottle is going to be cheaper than like the 20-ounce gas station cooler
Once again,
bottle.
They're trying to get rid of the 2 liters.
They're pulling out all the stuff.
Once again, the 2 liters just not. What if you get? Like, I wish why don't they have 2 liters of beer? Like,
yes, even those are called 40s.
Is 40 ounces 2 liters?
No,
2 liters is more.
It's not.
We do love 40s around here.
Yeah, we do. I had a buddy that when he was, I think it was his junior year of college, he got on this shtick where he's like, it's cheaper for me to buy 40s, and he went through like damn near the whole year. Like he wouldn't pick up like a 12 pack or a 30 rack or something. Yeah. He would just buy 40s.
Oh yeah, I love it. I used to do that too. I'd be like, it's great. You can tape them to your hand.
Well, here's the thing. Do the kids still play 40 hands?
I don't know, man. It's a good question.
Because here's the thing, like our predominant
we tape anything to our hands.
Well, that's the thing.
You tape it all to your hands, dude.
Our predominant demographic that listens to this podcast is like 30 and 40-year-old dudes from the US. Like this is like they 40 hands is going to hit for them. Like they're going to have some good 40 stories.
Yeah. Who doesn't? I mean,
yeah.
Oh man, it was so funny, dude. You just pull out the duct tape and you're just like,
you know what? Like
I'm committed.
If you have a good 40-hand story, like send us an email right in. I want to hear some
because we have some good ones, and we may have the best one from you.
Oh yeah,
you have, which I think you've told on the pod, but we'll share it for if we get some good ones. If we get something that rivals,
we might have to do an episode on 40s, like 40 ounces to freedom. Like we'll just
yeah.
I think we'll have to do that.
So, circling back, I'm doing pretty well today. Yesterday was so beautiful, man. It was like 73 degrees at night. Like I came home, the sun was out until 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
and which like we're pretty far east here,
right,
as far as the time zone goes. But like I'm in Alabama, we're like I'm right on the cusp as well for the central time zone. So. I don't know, it's the same amount of daylight, I guess, but I was in Kentucky for a day, and that's like super Western time zone. That was pretty nice. But man, it was like 70 degrees, no humidity all night last night. And it was like just the most beautiful spring day. And I was like, I don't get these in Alabama. Like it's just humid immediately. And like, the nights, I haven't had a spring night like that in a while. It was beautiful.
It feels good.
Had family dinner. It was just so nice.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, I'm glad. It's always nice when the weather cooperates on a nice little visit home. So
yeah, so it'll be. I mean, it's got rain tomorrow and some rain. But
we've been getting absolutely peppered with rain this week up here in Rhode Island, and it's funny. Like my girlfriend's in town visiting, and like it never fails. Every single time she comes and visits, like the weather is just abysmal. Like it's either raining all the time or it's freezing cold and sleeting or what have you. And we've been getting a lot of rain this week, but I think it's supposed to clear up this weekend, which will be nice.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, got blue skies.
How are you doing
now,
today?
Though. I'm good, dude. It's been a little bit of a busy week. Work, my job has been quite busy lately, but it's all good. Nothing to complain about. Feeling good. Happy my girlfriend's here, and overjoyed to be doing a podcast with you.
That's right.
That
is right. And so last week, if you guys listened, we talked about the EP Merkin Ball, and we said that we were going to talk about Mirror Ball by Neil Young, which we have been listening to quite a bit, and it is great. But that episode's not today. We're gonna put it on the back burner because there's a ton of questions out there that needs to be answered, and we just thought, what no better time to open up the polls and just get in front of the people and answer some questions. I feel like we got a lot of interviewers out there, people that want to ask questions. So here we go.
Yeah, we haven't done a Q&A, I believe, since October, so this is long overdue.
Hard to believe.
And a lot of time has gone by, but a lot of the questions remain the same. There's still people that want to know, if we could, would we, if we're looking California or feeling Minnesota, and people they're always asking us to rank the big four.
And the rankings change, so maybe we'll do it today.
That's true. Yeah. Nirvana on top, baby.
Oh yeah. So that's what we're going to be doing today.
Well, Q&A.
We would like to thank everybody out there listening. Most importantly, at the top of our list, we want to thank our Patreon supporters. I actually talked to top level patron Doug Endy. He's still top level, right?
Oh yeah.
And he told me he was over playing One Club Golf on Monday, and he said he really liked the episode last week. He liked the story about paying dues, and then he said, "I think I'm going to change my membership to $15.50."
Wow, he's going to take the top spot from Abraham.
He wants to take the top spot from Abraham. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Are we getting into a bidding war?
I hope so, dude.
Yes.
I hope we get into a bidding war. So right now, there's talk, there's rumble out there that there's going to be a new man at the top. And if there's anybody that I believe, it's Doug.
Oh yeah,
Doug will definitely go and figure that out. So, but there's other levels, right? There's there's always levels to this, and there's
a lot of steps on this ladder.
That's right. There's a $2 step, there's a $5 step, and there's a $10 step, and sometimes you got to take the steps before you get to the end. So don't feel like you got to get right into the bidding war. Those are for the big guns.
Yeah, exactly. The Fortune 500, the venture capitalists of the world, and the
angel investors of the Guns Bible.
I gotta tell you, I'm not surprised because Ethan, as you know, our senior financial analysts have been saying that it is going to be a bull market this year for Grunge Bible.
They said it was coming. They said
there's been a lot of rumblings, people reading the tea leaves. The ears are to the grindstone right now, as they say out there. And that would be exciting news. But until then, we would like to begin thanking the top tier patrons by thanking the top dog, literally, Abraham, who remains the cutest basset hound ever. And additionally, we'd like to thank the top level Patreon supporters who give us $10 a month to keep the lights on here at GBHQ. We would like to thank Black Hole Sean, D-Boat, A Bit Dusty, the aforementioned Doug Endy, who could be on the move soon, Eddie Vedder got me through my second divorce, Gochu John, Apona, Jade Mercado, my mother, Carly and Salona, Jamie Lynn, King Buzzo Stole My Hair, The Michael Dooley Project, Nikki Six, Russell, Seattle 4 Fanboy from New Jersey, Sherry Matthews, Sunshine Slackers, Ultra Mega OK, and What the Fuck is Up Denny's. And 2 notes, this podcast is coming out the day after Mother's Day, and I just thank my mother for supporting the Patreon, but shout out to all the mothers out there. Moms are the greatest gift on this earth, and they continue to be. So if you're a mom, if you love a mom, happy Mother's Day. It's a good day.
That's right. It is Mother's Day, or the eve of the day after Mother's Day, and we talked about potentially doing something for Mother's Day, and ran out of time. So yeah, thank you to all the mothers out there. I know I'm going to be spending time with my mother for sure. I can't wait, honestly.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to that in a big way. So thank you to the Patreon supporters. Thank you to the subscribers and the followers and the listeners and the lurkers, the commenters, the reviewers, and the prognosticators, all alike. We're very grateful for your presence here. But with that, let's get into this day in music for May 12th. And we will start back in 1948. There's some good entries on this list today.
I love this one.
And it begins on this day in 1948. The great Steve Winwood is born, of Traffic and Blind Faith fame. This man has written so many of your favorite songs out there. And he's just a legend, man. There's a version of him playing Can't Find My Way Home, which he wrote. And it's him solo acoustic by a fire. And I got on like a heater with that a few years ago, and I was watching it like every single day. He's the man.
That's awesome. And he's definitely occupying some great space in our musical world, because he's one of the men behind the Low Spark of the High Heel Boys.
Oh, yeah.
And man, I it's just, we saw it live, basically. I feel like I've seen him live, it was so good. But I'd like to get into some more Traffic. I need to.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to get into those guys just because that's what it's all about, man. So,
happy birthday,
Big Steve.
All right, moving up to 1950, we have another birthday. Billy Squier is born. Chris, are you a big Bill Squier guy?
This man, Billy Squier, is the darling of classic rock radio stations everywhere.
All the time.
I think like all of us went through a period of time where like we heard Lonely as the Night or The Stroke, and we were like, that is the coolest song in human history. And William Hayslip Squier is responsible for that. Yeah, dude, he's
a rock star.
Yeah, he's a rock star. That's
you
the
look
thing.
At him, like, you know he's a rocker.
People throw the term rock star around quite a bit, and I think sometimes it's used in applications that are not necessarily appropriate. But for Billy Squier, like this dude's a rock star, and I can always like a lot of like the kind of for lack of a better term, entry level classic rock that you hear on the radios, like I don't spend much time with anymore, just because I've listened to it so much, just over the years. But Billy Squier, man, like it always hits. Like driving down the road when Lonely as the Night comes on. So good.
You'll stop the radio dial on there and take it in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you have to. He was great, man. So happy birthday to Billy Squier. Here's a great one. On this day in 1963, Bob Dylan refused to appear on the Ed Sullivan Show because the Ed Sullivan Show would not let him play his song "Talkin' John Birch Society Blues," and that's a man of principle right there. Bob Dylan from the beginning. He knew what he needed to do, and he wasn't going to do any less.
Yeah, I wonder why they banned him from playing that. Like why did they not want him to play this blues song?
That's a good question. So I know it's a protest song, like related to the John Birch Society, which was like a very like right wing anti-communist platform in like the late 50s and 60s, and I'm actually not super familiar with that song, but I know it's like very heavy like protest song, and I'm sure it's like Bob Dylan satire, and they probably were just like, we don't want any sort of message, like we just want to twist and shout and play Tambourine Man or something. And
that's true.
Bob said no.
Interesting enough. Okay, moving to 1972, the Rolling Stones released their 10th studio album, Exile on Main Street. And the Stones came up. I was listening to a little bit of them on the job today, and I know that you were talking. I think, did you say you just were listening to them recently?
I'm always popping around in the Stones universe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad was not a big Stones guy, so naturally, like I just kind of fell in line when I was younger. So like as far as the Stones go, I know their hits and stuff, and obviously they are special. But I'm kind of interested, like to really go a little deeper. And people are probably like, to call yourself a music guy and say something like that is crazy, but like there's just so much music. Right. So yeah, I'm thinking about it.
It's always out there. I would say I think like Exile on Main Street or Sticky Fingers would be too. Just drop the needle and let them play. Because Main Street, it was a double album. Tumbling Dice is on there, Casino Boogie, Sweet Virginia, Loving Cup, Ventilator Blues, which I think is a fantastic song. Let It Loose, Shine a Light, another great one. Stop Breaking Down, the cover, the Robert Johnson song. That's they were at their apex, I think, around the Exile on Main Street era. So that's a great album anniversary. All right, this next one. On this day in 1983, Meatloaf unfortunately files for bankruptcy.
The artist, not the food.
Yeah, Meatloaf will never be bankrupt. It's an American dinner classic. Were you a Meatloaf house growing up? Like mom, like you get home, like mom had meatloaf in the crock pot throughout the day.
I was gonna bring this up because I just had some meatloaf recently, and I was talking about it. She made some meatloaf, but I don't think her recipe wasn't like anything super special or unique. So like, it's not that I didn't like it as a kid, but it was always like, what is this? But as I've gotten older, dude, a good meatloaf is so good. And I got one at the other day at a restaurant. I saw it on the menu, and I said to the person across from me, I was like, man, they have meatloaf on a menu. Like, they got to have a really good recipe because that's not going to sell. And I did what I usually do. I asked the waiter. And he was like, he's like, our meatloaf is one of our best sellers. It's really good, blah, blah. And I was like, I said that if you'd recommend it, I'd get it. I got the meatloaf, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There's a couple things that like I always like raise my eyebrow to when I see on the menu, and like I'm interested in getting if they've got a shepherd's pie on the menu, if there's a meatloaf on the menu, or if there's like a chicken pot pie and like the wait staff speaks highly of any of those items. Like I am down to get it. One of my grandfather's lifelong friends, the late great Al Vickers, was notorious whenever they would go out, he and his wife or my grandparents and that couple, the Vickers, he would always get the meatloaf. Like that was his lane, and he stuck to it. And there's so much variance with what you can do with it too. I mean, you throw a whole bunch of stuff in there, what type of meat you use for the loaf. If you're more of like a ketchup guy, or if you want some sort of like glaze on it. I mean, there's no telling which way you can go. The glaze makes the loaf, I think.
Yeah. I know we're supposed to be talking about Meatloaf, the artist, for bankruptcy, but like,
this is more important.
Yeah, my one friend, his family owned an Italian restaurant here, Moshe's, And I remember I was like, "What do you get when you go out?" He's like, I always get the chicken parm." He's like, "That's how you vet a good Italian place. You get their chicken parm." And I feel like Meatloaf's the same. Like if you go to an American diner or you go to something and they got like, if you want to know if they're good, if they know what they're doing, like you got to get the meatloaf.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely separates the men from the boys.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Moving up to 1986. Joe Strummer of The Clash was banned from driving after being convicted of drunk driving. And the
fate that a lot of people have met.
That's what happens, dude. You get banned, dude. You're no longer allowed to drive. I just thought that was just, it's funny that it came up in history, music history. And yeah, dude, sometimes you're just not allowed to drive.
Yeah, that's sometimes that. I have no further comment on that. On this day in 1998, this is somebody that I don't know that we've ever discussed on the podcast, but he's always kind of lingering around. But Lenny Kravitz on this day in 1998 released his 5th studio album, which was so aptly called 5. This one is notable because it has his banger "Fly Away" on it. It also has his cover of "American Woman" there on that album. So, Ethan, do you have any thoughts on Lenny Kravitz? What do we think about him?
He can rip,
Krav.
He can rip. That's "Fly Away." I mean, we all know it. I mean, no, I don't have there's definitely certain musicians, like a lot of like the solo, like virtuoso types from like back in, the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know, like I never got into solo artists from the past.
Yeah.
Like kind of solo ventures and whatnot. And
yeah,
they have fair. Bands and whatnot. But
in terms of like the virtuosos, one that always comes up like in the blues world is Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah.
And like,
he's a huge Joe guy.
I love blues. I love blues guitar. I have so much admiration for people who create blues. And I've just like, I know that Joe Bonamassa is great. I just choose not to listen. I don't know. I'm not calling into question his virtuosity, if you will, but I don't know. But it's funny. Virtues. Like there's people that come up like, it's like, oh wow, like he's a savant. And
I know
the Kravitzes and the Bonamassas of the world.
Exactly. There's a lot of them.
Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Blue on Black. I mean, that song is elite.
All right, moving up. I think this is the last one. It is.
Yeah, this one's a mouthful.
This one is, and I'm going to do my best. So obviously, singer-songwriter Neil Young had a spider named after him. So the U.S. University biologist Jason Bond discovered a new species of trapdoor spider and decided to name it after his favorite musician. All right, now here we go. We have Miriam Kapelia, Neil Young E. How would you say that?
Miriam Kapelia, Neil Youngie? I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, Miriam Kapelia, Neil Young I with an I in the end. So Neil Youngie. And he was found in Jefferson County, Alabama in 2007, which is pretty close to, I'm in Shelby County.
Should we take a field trip?
I mean, yeah, I'll be there.
Find the spot.
I'll be there next week.
Dude, I can tell that this biologist Jason Bond is important because he has his own Wikipedia page. At the time, he was at East Carolina University, and he currently is a professor of entomology at UC Davis. And for those watching on YouTube and for Ethan on Zoom, that's him right there practicing his craft. James E. Bond, or excuse me, Jason E. Bond, not James Bond. Close enough. Yeah, so that's
awesome.
Cool.
And I found a picture of the Neil Young spider.
Does it look like Neil? Oh, yeah, that looks like him. All right, that's got his likeness. That is amazing. That's fucking perfect.
Looks just like him.
Spitting image.
Looks just like him.
That's big news. I wonder what Neil's reaction to this was. Like, it's got to be like, that's a pretty good accomplishment.
Like, yes,
yeah,
yes.
He's more excited about that than he has been about anything in his life.
It's a pretty ridiculous claim to fame, though.
Yeah, like I have a spider named after me. Like I've gone platinum dozens of times.
Yeah. Some people have a building or a restaurant, whatever. But like I have like
a spider,
like nature, like a species.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Wow, that's this day in music. We're gonna wrap it up right there.
Yep, that's this day in music for May 12th, and with that, it's time to get into some Q&A here, and we'll start right off the top because it's current events here. But somebody asked, is Ethan still competing in the javelin? If so, any big meets this season?
Oh, this is a wonderful question. Is it? Yeah, I am. I am still competing. We are on. I guess this is my 7th pro year. I've been competing for the last 15 years. I think I started when I was 15. And yes, got some big comps. At the end of the month, we had the Tucson Throws Festival. Should be a big meet in New York this year. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Jav Fest here in Pennsylvania, huge meet. And then USA Championships are at the end of July in Oregon. So pretty pumped. And hopefully the World Championship is in Tokyo this year. So fingers crossed. I got some work to do, but I'm a believer. So
absolutely,
yeah, still competing. It's every year is different. Every year has its own challenges, but every year has its own successes, and I look forward to them.
Yeah, 100%. I always look forward to following along.
Yeah, I need to post. I just haven't. I saw you made a post on Instagram, your personal page. I haven't seen that.
First time. Like
we've been dormant for the personal page. Gets like.
Well, like nothing. I don't even like.
I think we talked about this actually.
I've gotten really bad at even like we've talked about like checking messages and like memes and stuff that like friends send me, and like I just like it piles up at the end of the day, and then there's a lot, so you don't feel like going through all of them. But then most of all, posting.
Yeah, we both. I think we just don't like the way social media is going, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like you have to. It's like you have to put a serious life update on there. I can't just post like, here's my dinner like I used to be able to.
There was a time, you could have taken a picture of that hoagie and that Coke Zero and it would have done numbers.
Yeah, dude, like people don't want to see that anymore.
No,
that's what
they're
I want
not
to post.
Interested. They don't want any part of it.
Now it's like I do something. If it's not, it's like you feel like it's not good enough, even though it's just, your page, your personal page. So whatever. Yeah. It's I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough.
Here's a great question and something that we need to figure the answer out. Someone asked, how can we send you beer on Fridays?
I'll
send my address.
Yeah, I will put, I will dox myself and put my address out for all to see. I mean, we could start like a beer fund. There's a function on Instagram where like you can like, it's called like send a gift, which I think is just like, it's like tip money. Like I know there's like some platforms where, like Twitch, you can send them like tips. Yeah. Like maybe like we do that where it's like, hey, like, we have like a subscription thing, but like all it is like just so you can send us beer money and see if there's any takers. Because that would be great. Yeah, like people actually support that.
I mean, it shows itself like when we do it for our birthdays. So I would not be surprised if it does numbers. Let's do it. But yeah, we'll reach out. I think that has to happen.
Yeah.
Any beer.
Any beer. Yeah. We are not discerning. We're not picky. And we've kind of flirted with having a beer sponsor in the past, but I think we say this every time, like we need to revive that effort with somebody out there. There's so many breweries, I mean, how many hundreds of breweries there are out there? Thousands. Yeah. Somebody's got to send us a beer. Imagine if they made a beer for Grunge Bible.
It's almost as good as a Spider.
It's almost as good as a Spider. Paraphilus Neil Youngie.
All right, you got one?
Yeah, I've got one here. I don't know if we talked about this, but it's current events as events get with this genre. But Soundgarden, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at long last. And somebody asked, who should sing with Soundgarden at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And Kim Thile did an interview with Rolling Stone after the announcement was made that they were inducted, and he kind of alluded to the fact he's like, yeah, like we've done some one-offs with people, since Chris has died, and we feel comfortable with them and really like them. So I imagine that if the opportunity to play exists, like we'll probably invite some of them. So they've performed with Brandi Carlile, and they've released like a single, like a cover of I think Black Hole Sun and Searching with My Good Eye Closed with her. Taylor Momsen, they did their couple songs with at the Hawkins show that we went to.
The hired guns of the world.
Yeah, and then they recently did a few songs at a gig in Seattle, probably 5-6 months ago, with Shayna Shepherd, who is a recording artist and songwriter out in the Pacific Northwest. So I imagine one of those three or all of them will probably be getting the call. But the other thing too, when you get inducted in the Rock Hall of Fame, typically a fellow musician will induct you and read the speech or whatever. I'm interested to see who that would be. Everybody online is it would be great if it was Jerry or somebody or Eddie Vedder or something. But because I forget who Chris Cornell inducted, but he was the inductor of somebody while he was alive, and his experience evidently doing that changed his perspective on the Rock Hall of Fame. And Kim, ever the gracious individual that he is in that interview, he was I never really cared too much about it, and if it happened, it happened. But he's after Chris's experience going in inducting somebody, it kind of shifted my perspective on it. And he had a great quote. He's if it's important to the fans, then it's important to us. And he's I'd like to think somewhere out there it's important to Chris too. So I'm happy that they're getting the recognition they deserve, with all of my issues with the Rock Hall of Fame, that these guys have something to hang their hat on. That's well deserving. If a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame exists, whatever the ethics are of getting into it, they should be in it, and I'm glad that they are.
Yeah, it's a good question. Who would be a good person to play with them? And usually it's somebody that I'm not thinking of. You think of the big hitters, but there's probably somebody that will fit really well. And I think somebody adjacent. I don't know if Jerry could. I don't know what it would look like if Jerry sang, but it would be cool, right?
Because they should be in too, and they're not.
That's crazy.
It's a story for another day, obviously.
Yeah, we won't get started on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Which grunge band would you say is the absolute best for beginners in rock? So I'll reword it, and if somebody came to be hey man, I need to get into grunge rock, how would you respond to that question?
I mean,
the first thing I would ask is what do you listen to now?
Right. Yeah.
Right. And then I think you go from there, because the grunge bands are, as we talk about, very different, and they fit for different people. So I think that's very important to know, is what the music history you're dealing with.
Yeah. Because there's a couple paths. Because if they pop, then I'd be oh, you got to go Nirvana. But if they're metalheads or something, then Alice in Chains. You're gonna love Alice in Chains. You're gonna love Alice in Chains or Soundgarden.
I got the band for you.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I mean, Pearl Jam was my way in, as it was yours, and it seemed to work out pretty well. And it was definitely it was kind of cool, because Pearl Jam was kind of right in the middle, where it's okay, this stuff is awesome, and if you want something heavier, boy, do I have news for you. And if you want something that's poppier and has more of a hook and great melody, then Nirvana's for you. So it's I think there's really good pivot points to either side of the spectrum by using Pearl Jam as a way in. But I mean,
coming from the classic rock background that we have, right? And Neil Young, we talked about, they did a whole album together, and there's so much of alternative rock, and it's a little bit easier transition from classic rock type of sounds, and so that's gonna work for a lot of people, and it has. That's why they're as big as they are. Yeah, it's an interesting, maybe throw them STP or something. I think I was in a follow-up question. Which band were you most impressed of when you got into them out of the big four? Which were you whoa, because I remember having the moments with all of them where I was holy cow, dude. I was I didn't realize Alice in Chains was like this.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then same as Soundgarden. I was I did not realize that Soundgarden was like this.
Yeah. For me, it was Soundgarden, because I was listening to Super Unknown as my way in. And then, you go back to the heavier stuff with Bad Motor Finger, and then the much more experimental, complex stuff I think that you got on Down on the Upside. Soundgarden was the one I was just whoa, this is this is the one for me. But even in all of those bands, in their own right, they have those moments in their catalog, because any way, because they had so much diversity with what music they made. So it's any initial path in, there was other stuff there that would captivate you. So that's definitely what made it cool, and what still makes it cool.
Yeah, I put on Down on the Upside today, the album.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, this band just is so good.
Dude,
like, this
Never the Machine Forever.
Yeah, Never the Machine Forever. Like it's just, I'm just Dusty. I think it was Dusty that I was like, dude, this band's just cool. Like even the random songs that you find, like the album is just like so complete, and each song is like, maybe not the hit that you want to hear, but like, dude, they just rock. But then you listen to Alice in Chains, it's like the same exact thing. You're just going through and you're just like, dude, these guys, it seems like every song was, complete. That's the best way to put it. When you listen to an album, you're just like, each song is not, it doesn't need to be skipped. And there's plenty of musicians where you go, okay, I got 4 songs in this album, then the other ones are pretty much filler. And I've had those moments with Pearl Jam and Nirvana too. And it's a cop out to say all 4 every time we do these questions. Right. So obviously I think I was probably most blown away by, one of those 2, AIC or Soundgarden. Like
totally.
It just was probably because I knew less about them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. So I don't know if like everybody out there seemed to have food on the mind when we were asking these questions, because there's a few here. Somebody wanted to know what our McDonald's breakfast order is. And my answer is like, I don't go to McDonald's for breakfast unless I am incredibly hungover, in which case you get the sausage egg McMuffin and maybe like a hash brown as well. But like that's not really like a go-to breakfast spot. I've had one McGriddle in my life. In Pittsburgh, Kansas, or maybe it was Joplin, Missouri, because they're right across a river from one another. And I was ungodly amounts of hungover. And the McGriddle was amazing. Like I've only had one, and I'm afraid to go back that it's not going to be as good as that time, because like I needed it on a deeper level than just satisfying my hunger when I had it.
Yeah. I'm glad that you said that. I mean, I was a McMuffin guy for a while.
Yeah.
And not that I just, the McGriddle, like, the whole French toast, like with the buns, it didn't make sense.
Yeah, like
to me.
syrupy. Yeah.
Yeah, like syrup and egg and whatnot, but same thing. It's a big hungover thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe I've got a few times going into work, but man, the McGriddle, they really do kind of hit. I've been like recently, I went a few times, and like maybe like once or twice. I really don't go very much for breakfast.
No, that's not I'm not going to go to McDonald's for breakfast.
But that's the thing. Like, you have a big disc golf outing, right? Yeah. We go get a couple McGriddles, on your way to the course. Because
those are still great if they sit for a while too. Like you don't have to eat them right away. Like those things are going to last forever,
man. Those preservatives. Yeah, dude. It like the McGriddle really does hit. So we're gonna, McDonald's, like they're as big as they are because, they just they're good, dude. They found the niche of whatever, niche in America.
Yeah. If this question were like go to fast food breakfast order, I was a religious subscriber to sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant from Dunkin' Donuts with an order of hash browns and a coffee. That was always like the go-to. And like in high school, like when I started to drive, like I go to like Saturday morning, like track practice or something, like, I was going to Dunkin' on the way and getting some of that in me. But this everybody's got their one.
Dude, whoever invented hash browns was a genius.
Yeah. Hash browns are amazing, man.
Hash browns are unreal, dude.
Yeah.
They're so good.
They can,
and there's Dunkin', the spicy ones, they are good.
Yeah, they can make the meal sometime. I'm going to double up here because this next question also related to food and beverage. Go-to coffee orders for both of us, and what do you think the grunge icons would order for their coffee?
I think we'd all be aligned. Well, I think that Chris would get this, as well as Jerry and Lane, and I get black coffee. I go and I think we've talked about this on the page. Another
because I know your creed is like, if you're going in somewhere and you've never been there before, like you judge them like on like their house coffee black.
House coffee, black, and a shot of espresso.
Yeah.
So you get one from you got the espresso machine. You get and you just get you have to know the beans a little bit, see if they're good, and that's where all the bones are in the coffee shop. Are the beans good? Before you put any like milk and sugar and all that. So yeah, I think that, like I said, I think the boys are all getting black coffees as well.
I don't think there's much variance here.
Eddie might get an oat milk.
Maybe,
milk
latte.
I
think as he's grown older, he's definitely a proponent of the alternative milk section. I think he's definitely hopping in there. I mean, they have oat milk, almond milk, cashew milk, even. I mean, who's to say? I mean, there's a lot of different.
You can milk anything, man.
You can milk anything you want.
Dude, you can milk anything. It's crazy.
Hash brown milk.
Dude, I bet you Kurt. I bet like if you ask Kurt, he said his go-to would be like decaf.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Decaffeinated coffee.
You know, like sometimes
like it makes me shake. I don't want to, but I still want to get it.
Yeah, man. Sometimes like you go to a coffee shop and like if they have bad coffee and like it tastes a little bit like cigarettes, like I imagine like that would be a big hit in the grunge icons group. And sometimes like I gotta tell you, like I gotta hand it to them, like coffee that tastes a little bit like cigarettes every now and then, like is not the worst thing in the world. Like a big like you go to a diner and like unlimited refills in like the ceramic cups that they give you. It's so good, made out of one of those humongous coffee makers they have in the back. Sometimes it serves a purpose.
Dude. Alluding to Prince, can you make it shittier?
Yeah.
Like the shittier.
Can you make it rain harder?
The shittier the better, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's one. Someone asked if grunge is bigger now than it was 5 or 10 years ago. Do you think that there was a drop? Obviously it was at a height in the 90s. Do you think it dropped down and it's getting increasingly more interesting to people and people are liking it more now?
I think it's become cooler to like it now than it was a few years ago. I think solely due to social media. Like Alice in Chains does numbers on TikTok and just Instagram and social media in general. And like there's been this weird intersection of like Chains and like meme culture in the same way that there has been with Creed. And I've also noticed like Yacht Rock is doing the same thing right now. Like Yacht Rock is in, Creed is still in, and Alice in Chains are in. So I would say that the popularity is getting a little higher now.
Yeah, it's totally true. The social media bump for the last 10 years has been huge for old heads and old bands that have not played in a while.
Yeah.
I can't remember, somebody was talking about that and now they have like other projects and they have other stuff they can do with their music to get it out there that they didn't expect to have, and basically more cash flow too. Yeah,
I mean cash is king. It still is. Everybody knows that.
It's like when you want to get the was it the Sex Pistols? It was like they vowed never to play again, but then something was brought to their attention.
Money's too good.
The money.
Like there's only one reason why the Gallagher brothers are going to be in the same room for many nights this year. It's there are a lot of commas in that letter that they got sent to them, which we're definitely okay with. This next question here is a little bit of an interesting twist and refreshing twist on the old like can you rank or can you choose your favorites? Somebody asked best vocalist not including the big ones. So no Lane, no Jerry, no Chris, no Eddie, no Kurt, or no Scott. And presumably I would filter this through like the 90s, like who had just like a great voice in the 90s that like wasn't one of those guys.
Dang, you can't say Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker's always up there. John Fogerty. Is John Fogerty grunge? Like is CCR grunge?
I think he's the grandfather of grunge.
Confirmed, yeah. If Neil Young's the godfather, John Fogerty's the grandfather.
So the question was what
like best vocalists voice? Yeah, not including any of like the big guys.
Okay, I guess no one would say Billy Corgan, even though they're not.
I don't think Billy Corgan would even say it.
No, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, could you say Jerry?
I mean, Jerry wasn't included in the text here, but I don't know if he's guilty by association. But Jerry's in there. You know who I think could be a dark horse for this? Jay Mascis.
Yeah, I love it.
I think he could be in there. Obviously, I'm going to put Lanigan into the conversation.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Not grunge, but like Dolores from the Cranberries was otherworldly from that time period. Yeah. She was just unbelievable. She was Danita Sparks from L7. Like I went on a little bit of an L7 kick the other day, and like she was incredible. There's so many good ones. It's impossible to select just one.
Yeah, Dolores has a really good pick. There's a lot of love for her out there.
Yeah,
as it should be.
Rightfully so.
Chris, the question was thoughts on the band Muse, MUSE, Knights of Sidonia.
I don't think I know them.
Okay, you probably would. Yeah. And this kind of is where I want to go with it. You probably know them. In Knights of Sidonia is like the big one. It's like I think it was on Guitar Hero 2. But they have this like really progressive, like it was like math. It wasn't math rock, but it had like really, I don't know, crazy kind of, arrangements to their songs and big ballads. And my thought is they had a really nice stranglehold on our high school. The music department, like the kids that were in the music orchestra or band, and they really liked it. And I did too. I liked it. It was really cool. And it's one of those bands that there are a lot when you listen to them. Yeah. And like, if you try to listen to an album, like you get 4 songs, you like listen to the first one, like, this is sick. This is the next one, you're like, this is still cool. And you get to like the 4th one, you're just like, I think I'm good. But what I was gonna say is like there's bands like this, like it'd be hard to understand how it can be someone's favorite band, I think. Right. But like I take comfort knowing that Muse is out there creating music, because I know that they're weird and they're gonna do things that other people don't. They're gonna take chances. And like, it kind of scares me to think that like, if they don't have the support, they're going to not be a band.
They're not going to be out there.
Yeah. There's plenty of people. It's like, dude, like I can't support, like, it's like, I can't support you because I'm supporting all these other bands. Like I can't make you my favorite artist. But I really hope that you guys, like, I hope that there's people out there that really push Muse to continue playing, because I like checking in every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there a band like that you can think of where you're like, you know, you just take comfort that they're out there being a band and you like them, but like, you know, you just know that you're just like, you know, I'm going to let them do their thing and be over there. Like, I can't really be front row, but like, I really do like seeing them like still go at it.
I feel that way about a lot of the songwriters that I like, because there's just so many of them that I admire that like every like 6 to 8 months, like I'll check in on them and see if they've put out something new and what it sounds like. John Moreland, who's like a folk artist who I really, really like. Same thing. Like I'll just like a couple times a year, I just check in and see what he's doing. Another one, Brian Dunn I think he's from Brooklyn or something. And, I don't know that he's particularly popular, but my buddy Austin and I have loved him for a long time. And, like always just checking in, and like, it's like, it'll always happen. It's like, oh, like I haven't thought about this guy for a while. And then like, lo and behold, that night, like Austin will send me a link to like a new song of his. And I'll be like, there he is, he's back. And like, it feels good knowing they're still out there, you know, pursuing what they want to pursue.
Yeah. I think it's important because, you know, we talked about, it's like, it's really hard to support everybody, and you just can't sometimes.
Mm-hmm. It's really hard to support everybody, and it's really hard to just be out there buying everything. Like we've bought enough at certain points, and
we've bought enough. Exactly.
Yeah. I have an interesting question. And somebody asked what the best album is for being in a bad mood.
Okay.
Best album for bad mood.
Bad mood. So we're talking like anger.
If you're in a bad, I guess it could be anger. It could be depressed. It could be over it.
We gotta specify what type of bad mood. Yeah, like I said, are we angry or are we sad? I don't know. I mean, there's an obvious answer out there. You know, jar of flies.
Right. That is a bad mood.
Yeah. That is a bad mood. So I think that's pretty good. Was it grunge related?
No,
question?
It was open ended.
Okay. I'm going to say, like, if you're in a bad mood, I don't know, Welcome to the Black Parade, right? I'm going to say My Chemical Romance, maybe like something right there, right?
That could be good. I'm drawn to, like, just because I associated that question with the title, the Modest Mouse album, good news for people who love bad news. Like, I would say, like, Lonesome Crowded West, Building Something Out of Nothing. Like, if you're in a bad mood and like things are just shit, I think those are definitely some good albums to put on. But you could also take the path where it's like, if you're in a bad mood, you just put on an album that you don't like by a musician that you really dislike, and it'll just make you in a worse mood. Like, just put like Weezer on, or put Guns N' Roses on, or you know, put Gigaton on. That'll really really piss you off.
What about that's like a bad album for a good mood?
Yeah, it's like, let's bring things are too good right now. Let's ruin it.
You know, maybe the question was like, what is the album that you put on when you're in a bad mood to cheer you up?
Yeah, I mean, if that's it. I don't really
not Gigaton.
Not Gigaton. Well, the thing, if I'm in a bad mood, like I don't choose music to turn the tide. Like, I usually like make the music appropriate to the mood that I'm in. So I don't know. That's a little bit of a challenging question, I suppose.
This person really wants, all caps, says that we need Scentless Apprentice Saturday. Could you imagine if we just started posting Scentless Apprentice on Saturdays? I don't know if that would hit, brother.
I'm going to. Can I answer this? Can I answer this question with a story that it's like a parable, if you will?
Oh boy, yeah, that sounds perfect.
Okay, so about 5 or 6 years ago, my buddy Lucas and I were at our favorite dive bar in the world, McShawn's Pub, known for their great sandwiches, good times, great staff, and cold beer, coldest beer in the state of Rhode Island, and it's cheap too. It's
good title to have.
It's unbelievably cheap. They're open 365 days a year, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. every single day. And we were in there one time. We're in there all the time, so we got to know the owner. He passed away recently. God rest his soul. And we were sitting there, and they do a beer of the month. Each month they pick a beer and discount it, and that's that. And we were big drinkers of, at the time, Rolling Rock, because they carried it, and it was $2 for a pint. And we were shooting the breeze with him, and Narragansett beer, which is another favorite of ours, was $3 a pint. So when it was beer of the month, it was $2. So we were asking him, like, how do you decide which one's the beer of the month? And and we were like, we've been coming here for a long time, and like we've noticed that Rolling Rock is never beer of the month. Like we know it's $2 right now, but like could we get dollar Rolling Rocks? And he like lets out a sigh, and he looks at us. And he's like, I physically cannot sell you this beer any cheaper. Like he's doing all he can. Like he's out there like taking a bath on some of these beer prices to sell it as cheap as possible. And like he's at his limit. Like he just can't do it any cheaper. So that's my reaction when somebody asks us to do Scentless Apprentice Saturdays. Like I'm at my limit. Like I physically cannot do that. And like there's nothing we can do to help you with that. Like it's already as immersive as it can be, and I feel like the page is like as good as it can be right now. There's nothing else we can do. I physically cannot do it.
That's a great I don't know if parable is the right word, but that's a great
well,
anecdote.
There's a lesson in there. If you're looking hard enough, there's a lesson in there. There's a lesson in everything.
That's such a great response by the bartender, the owner as well.
Yeah, he's like, I physically cannot sell you this beer any cheaper. And I believed him. Like
right. Yeah, what are you gonna say to that?
Yeah, you know what? Like I apologize. I'm sorry. That's
all right, we got
a
few more here, and then
a couple more, then we'll wrap up.
All right, let's see. You have one. I'm taking a look here before I.
Yeah, all of these.
Everybody's
questions.
asking about the pancakes. They're asking.
I posted
song title.
I posted a picture. I posted a picture of pancakes when I put the Q&A out. People want to know why they're so big. They're not big. I just put the camera close, and they were just like that shitty like Kodiak pancake stuff that I just like threw a bunch of protein powder in because I wanted to eat a bunch of pancakes and not feel terrible about myself. So that's what I did. Here's a good question. This is a good debate because I know we are advanced practitioners of this. And this comes from Eddie Vedder got me through my second divorce. And the question is, what is the ideal plan for beers before a concert to maximize vibes and minimize piss?
You said this was from our
friend?
This is
from Cullen, yeah. This is Cullen's question. Yeah.
I feel like we've outlined this on the pod. I know I've talked to you guys about this, and you have a strict plan, which is great. So we're going to get to that. But I'll just give my quick rundown because I know you said you guys have a POA here that you like to attack. I like, it just depends. So are we talking about like just like a normal, like out on a weekday type of thing where you don't want to get like too drunk, but you want to have a good time type of thing?
I would say so because like otherwise it doesn't even matter. And
otherwise
you don't need to approach it with any discretion.
Yeah, you drink plenty early, so then
right.
You don't have to pee, but you're also plenty drunk.
Yeah.
Not sloppy drunk. I think 2 beers, two like basically a beer before you get there, a beer for the opener, and then like once, like I'm talking like 16 or 20, the big ones.
Yeah.
And you get those 3 beers in like pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just filling time. Let's hear the real.
Well, that's the thing.
Plan.
Like to minimize the trips to the bathroom is like
you gotta go liquor.
That's the tough part. Yeah. So like Cullen and I, like when we go to shows, like we've been in the habit that we drink double Bacardi and Cokes. Like we get a couple of those in us because then like you're playing with house money at that point. Then you grab like a beer or 2 for the show. But if you're just drinking beer, I'd say like if you're going out beforehand, like you're probably gonna have 3 beers with dinner before the show, right? And then you grab one when you walk in. You might grab 2 when you walk in, and hopefully you just pray that you're not gonna have to take a trip out to the bathroom. But inevitably, if you're in a group, somebody will have to go, and that's a perfect opportunity because they don't come back from going to the bathroom without more beer. Like they're gonna come back with more beer. So then you're
good friends, yeah.
Yeah, if they're good friends. So it's like you grab one for the opener, obviously. And then you can take a trip in between the opener and the headliner to go use the restroom and then grab more beer.
That's the key.
Yeah.
You have to utilize the dead time. You have to do your work during the first set.
Yes. It's about timing and like you have to be unwavering in your decision-making process too. Like if they start playing a song that like is not yours,
go.
You got to go because you've got 3.5 minutes to get back.
If you wait, yeah.
And especially if you're hitting the beer line too.
Oh yeah. Beer line's huge.
Yeah. Sometimes I've been known to like if I go to a show alone, like I would just like pop in, like I'll grab 2 tall boys, I'll have one and I'll put one in the back of my jeans pocket. And then you just switch them around.
What if they open it though? I was gonna say like usually if
that's true. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know. You'd be surprised. Sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah. Can you not open this? They're always like, I have to.
Yeah.
You still can put that in your back pocket.
You still could, depending on the show.
Oh, man.
That'd be a problem.
All right. To this question, specifically, I guess they asked about me competing in Lexington and how was it, but they asked about pre-competition songs. So you've competed in your day. So Lexington was great. It was during the Derby. So it was Lexington wasn't all that great because it's always shitty weather. And it was really it was stormy, and there was a lightning delay, and the Derby was a slop fest. I didn't go to the Derby, but the question is, what is the pre-meet soundtrack?
Right.
And this has changed. It's ever changing. It's like the lifting playlist. There's a few genres that you go to. Some of my best, like I always remember Virginia Challenge. Like during that Pittsburgh stint that we had, I warmed up with heavy metal, like August Burns Red, like really heavy. Just like double bass screaming, like, and I would just pace around like I was in a pit, like literally like I remember pacing around before that comp, and like you just get so dead set on like kill everybody type of thing. And that always like is
like
really
Jim
good.
Toth before the kettlebell mile.
Yeah. Like that really does help me because, it's just great. Sometimes I like now I'm blanking of the specific term. It's not EDM. It's like, hard style.
Yeah.
The hard style. I love some hard style. I've been getting that last year and a half. That's like pretty intense, but like, the rock really, it comes from inside you. Like, the other stuff is just like a quick hit of a drug. Like you got to go deep. Yeah. It's like smelling salts. You got to go deep. So, I bounce around though. I really don't have like a playlist right now.
Yeah.
But like I said, I like getting heavy, and I plan to do that for the big comps this year.
Nice, dude. Yeah, it's always evolving because similarly, like I used to very, very heavily rely on listening to music before I would compete in whatever it was. And the problem I would always run into is like I'd start like the heavy music like too quickly, too early. Same thing with the caffeine, and then like you're so locked in for warming up. And then the time the actual competition comes, it's like, all right, and especially now with like the strength sports, like weightlifting and powerlifting, like you're competing for a while. Like you have one specific movement, and then it's going to take a long time before you go again. So like it's more important for me to have a little bit of a slower burn. So I don't I don't wear headphones, for example, anymore. Like when I'm like getting ready to warm up or just like hanging around, like I get more of a rise out of just like being in that environment and like listening to everything else that's going on. And that kind of helps me focus a little bit better. And in similar fashion, like I only hit the heavy stuff like if I'm feeling it at the time. Like sometimes you head in the gym or something for a big training session, or you head into a competition, like you try to force it. It's just you're just going to get worked up, and it's not going to be conducive to what you need it to be. So a lot of times now I'm just kind of listening to whatever I would be listening to at the time that is on repeat for me. It's you name it, and like I've probably listened to it, but I found like it's better. I find that to be better for me now because like I don't train with headphones anymore. Like I used to lift, like power lift and weight lift, like with my headphones in, and like I'd have agency over that. But I'm like, you know what? Like if I'm like on the platform, like I'm not going to be able to listen to music. So like I'm just going to train the way that I would compete. And that seems to help me, and I can like really lock in better now. So yeah, kind of depends. But I'll tell you, like the heavy stuff, like the Squatober playlist type stuff, like it's always gonna, it's always gonna hit.
It does something for you. Yeah. I think that I'm the same way. I really don't. If I can help it, like I don't want headphones in at the gym. Yeah. Like having an aux, I like being. You have to know your surroundings. You can't you can't get under 500 pounds and not have any awareness besides the music in your ear. Like shit could go wrong. Mm-hmm. So I kind of do that too. Like I don't like when they tell you to take your headphones off. Like I don't get upset. Like I usually take them out a little bit prior. But
sure.
I think what's really important is I love the like explosions in the sky.
Yeah, okay? Stuff like that is great. And
Experience
like
by
Odessa,
Ludwig.
Like that's like a great stuff like that.
Very like just massive kind of sound and just all encompassing. And and when you're just like the world is my oyster. Like that stuff really gets me excited to succeed. Yeah. And I think that's pretty important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's good to set the tone with stuff like that. 100%.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah, let's see here. Quick question here. Is it just a bit to annoy the old heads, or do y'all really like current girly pop? Either way, I respect it. It's a little bit of both. It's fun annoying people with like always including Olivia Rodrigo in the meme, but like I do like that type of music every now and then.
So what was it? Is it like, do you guys actually like him, or is it just
or like is it just a bit to like piss people off? Which like I'm not above like doing a bit just to piss people off. Like that's part of the reason of having an Instagram account.
Yeah, I think it goes twofold. I mean, we like to have a little bit of fun, and you like their music a little bit. So yeah, it can be both. Two things can be true at once, as everybody likes to say these days.
Exactly. Yeah, man. I just missed this question, but I think it's kind of a full circle moment because we were a little bit heavy on the food earlier. And unless do you have a question in front of you that you want to ask, or?
Nah, it's okay.
Okay.
Colin can wait. That's all.
We answered one of his. The last question for this Q&A: Denny's or IHOP?
That's good.
That is good.
And I think we talked about this last week. We talked about Waffle House briefly. That was 2 weeks ago. Denny's or IHOP? I have very little experience with the International House of Pancakes.
Yeah,
I do. But and Denny's, like, I mean, I'm a Waffle House guy. If you put that in there, that's usually where I end up going.
I agree.
But I'm definitely going Denny's because of the lore. They sell beer.
That's true. IHOP doesn't.
IHOP does, as far as I know, they don't. But Denny's has like, dude, there's some sick Denny's with like bars and like there's some Denny's that get rowdy. Like,
I think the hours are better at Denny's. Like they're open later, longer than
like
IHOP.
Denny's is a bar type of thing. Like Denny's is making a transition right now. Like, what if we serve breakfast food and beer?
It's a winning strategy.
Yeah, I've heard good stories. I mean, like famously, I think it was the 21 Olympic trials. Josh Alatunde made the Olympics
lit at Denny's,
and everybody went to Denny's after to celebrate. Yeah, and
he was doing an interview the next day. It's like, so how did you celebrate making the team? He's like, bro, we got lit at Denny's.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a huge for Denny's, the Denny's stakeholders. So
yeah, absolutely. I would like to imagine that the stock increased in value after that.
100%.
We'll pumping the stock a little bit, and rightfully so. I think Denny's is doing some really great stuff.
They are. They have music.
Yeah.
They have live music.
They do have live music. It is a concert venue and a bar and a breakfast establishment. And
get a man that can do it all.
Fun for the whole family.
So yeah, and IHOP, what do they have? Pancakes?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, come on. Who cares?
They don't have the Grand Slam.
Yeah, man.
So Denny's,
man. So that's the Q&A. Questions
that'll
have
wrap
been answered.
up this episodes of questions and answers.
Yeah, dude. Some songs
we did
of
a
the
decent
week.
job.
Yeah, I think so. We can always do better. We'll probably do better next time. We'll try. Yeah, we're always gonna try.
Yeah, songs of the week, man. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Greg Freeman. I've showed a lot of people, and I've been listening to that.
Long Distance Driver.
The whole album has been really good. Let's see, what other stuff have I been really listening to? Oh, I know exactly what I'm going to pick. I got some, when I was in Kentucky, I got a few massages from the guy that I worked with back a while ago. And he was like, dude, it's like, I really, it's like, I've gotten sick of like the massage music, just the sounds. And I was like, yeah. So when I walked in, he had Pink Floyd playing. Right. And I was like, oh, this is good. I was like, I love Pink Floyd. And he's a big Pink Floyd. He's like in his 70s. So I don't know if you've seen him. But so he's playing Pink Floyd, and I'm just like, it's perfect because it is like, it's very soothing massage type music, but with guitar solos.
And melt into it.
It's Pink Floyd. Yeah, dude. Take you to a different place. And man, they are just, and I think they just released a live album, like, their estate or whatever, released an album or a concert live from them. And, but coming back to life, and I put it on our playlist that I'm excited to listen to. It is such a great song. I mean, honestly, like they are, I think, the best band of all time. Like they may have it for me. They're just, every time I go back, I'm just so amazed. Their arrangements are so unique. The atmosphere they create, the way it takes you, like people talk about seeing the Dead at the Sphere. If you could see Pink Floyd at the Sphere,
oh yeah,
it's the only thing that you need to see. So I'm really into the Floyd right now, obviously. So Coming Back to Life is just phenomenal. It's so good. It's such a good arranged song. It's just, they're just great songs.
Yeah.
They just have it.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to follow you up. Same zone. Just this morning, I heard Young Lust by Pink Floyd from The Wall. And I forgot how cool of a song that was. And it immediately brought me back to like being a kid listening to the classic rock station, because like classic rock obviously loves Pink Floyd. 94 HJY, like I have so many memories of like them coming on in the car. And similarly, it's like, this is the coolest thing in the world. And Young Lust is one. It's like one of like the best like classic rock radio songs. Dude.
I love that we shout out all of our local stations all the time.
Yeah, I hope they're out there. I hope they appreciate it. They're taking her easy for all us sinners.
Another great example. Like I can't listen to the radio all the time. I just really hope that MGK is still rolling. And
It's so good.
Awesome.
Man.
That's great. Young Lust coming back to life. These Pink Floyd songs are important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we've come to the end of the road here. If you're still with us, thanks for listening. Share the show with a friend if you're feeling communal. Leave us a review. Send us a message. Let us know let us know about your 40 stories. We'll have to, like, instead of like 30 for 30, we'll go 40 for 40. Grunge Bible presents 40 for 40.
That's another genius idea, dude.
40 ounces, 40 stories.
Can we do that, Chris? Can we do an episode we call 40 for 40?
I think we could. I mean, we can do whatever we want. We're like 4 years into this.
Could we do, I just want to live stream taping 240s to our hands and have it.
The next time we go live, we honestly should. It's like we cannot stop the stream because we don't have use of our hands.
Oh, man. No, we 100% will. But in order for us to do that, we need people to send in their stories.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you guys don't send in stories, that means you don't care about stories. And the reason that we would do 40 for 40 is because
is to tell stories.
Is because we're going to have a great story, but also to tell stories.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that.
Grunge Bible's 40 for 40.
We're going to workshop this. We need a beer sponsor, and we need to do 40 for 40.
Yeah.
So GBHQ is going to be buzzing with our business development team.
It's probably going to be the hardest we work for something.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I hope it is. It's going to be great.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Go out there, get some coffee, support your local coffee, support your local music store, and we'll be back next week.
You better believe it. Take care, everybody. Rock and roll.
Peace. 40 for 40.
40 for 40.